I haven't done this in a while. I can tell I haven't done it in a while because I just took a picture of myself instead of starting the video. Okay, I wanted to read to you my favorite, see here I am, playing with my hair. Okay. I wanted to read to you today my favorite sonnet. Now, my favorite Shakespearean sonnet. Now, I have my glasses on because I'm not reading it to you from my Kindle. I'm actually reading it to you from a book. Do you remember those, kids? Do you remember books? Now, I have two editions of Shakespeare. I probably have more around the house somewhere if I dig. I have two beautiful editions of Shakespeare. I have this one, Shakespeare, with the gilding on the edges, which is wonderful. And now this one, oh my God, and check this out. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see the beautiful marbleized papers? I've actually done that before. I went to some class where I did that. And it was really cool. Sort of geeky things that I get up to. But anyway, that was God knows how many years ago, but it was really fun. And it's got an inscription that says Alice Wilton from her loving friend Edith or something like that. December 6th, 18, if I can hold it up without destroying the book itself. What does it say? 1884. So I thought that was kind of wicked cool. I don't know if you can see that in focus. So I thought that was really cool. Then I have one that looks much older. See, it's kind of crumbling at the spine even as we speak. I wonder if it will make it through the video. By the time I finish with the video, I'll have to get the broom and sweep up the rest of the book. And that had gilding as well. And it's really amazing. It's also got the marble end papers, and it's got the most amazing sort of pictures in it. Excuse me, signed by the author. Oh my God, it's got colored pictures as well. Maybe that means it's a little younger. I don't know. A little newer. I can't tell. Oh my God, it's absolutely a lavish edition. And, but what's incredible, it actually came from a bookseller in Stratford, so I think I might have gotten it when I went to Stratford with my parents. Tudor House, Stratford upon Avon. But what's incredible is that it says £3.50. And I'm thinking, at the time, and the pound's crashed since then, the pound's fallen into the toilet. But the time that we were there, which was like around, that would have been around 1991 or maybe a couple of years after, that's like $7 for like a 19th century edition of Shakespeare. Unbelievable. But in any case, the sonnet. Now, Shakespeare wrote lots of sonnets, and he numbered them. He didn't name them like most poets do. So they're either called by their first lines or they're numbered, and this one's 29. When, in disgrace, with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. I loved that from the moment I first heard that. I love that because it's just so clear. And as poets, we try so hard. I mean, first lines are so important because you have to set the tone very clearly. You got to reel them in, but you got to set the tone very clearly about what the poem is about. And the use of the word disgrace is so clear. It's so, it's not, oh, I'm not feeling a little bit down. It's disgrace. I'm talking about disgrace when I'm feeling disgrace. But that last line, that, you've got this line that kind of has to like, it kind of has to linger, echo and linger in the cathedral kind of thing, like like a clatter, like you've dropped a chair over in a cathedral or something, and you get a kind of sound in a cathedral. Then I scorn to change my state with kings. Is such an economical and beautiful way of expressing the idea of love, and not just romantic love, but love of other people being so much more important than material love. The idea that you would give up, not so much give up, but that the love of another person being more important to you than material wealth or status or anything like that. I remember talking with Bill years ago, and we had been apart on Christmas, I think, and we weren't speaking, and he went to the Oak Room, which in Boston, which at the time was, they've changed over since then, but at the time was this lavish place to go for dinner. He was making lots of money at the time, and he went to the Oak Room on Christmas and ordered all this lavish food and was having it there alone. And I remember him saying to me subsequently, here I was in this, lavish place, having all this wonderful, luxurious food, and I should have been happy. And I wasn't happy because I wasn't sharing it with anyone. I wasn't sharing the experience with anyone. And for me, there is, distance, there we go. For me, no, I can't see. For me, there is no greater pleasure. I'd love to have more money to be able to travel. I mean, I could travel more in the past and stuff like that. But for me, there is no material object. There is no, numbers on paper on a bank statement or something like that. There's no greater pleasure for me than being with the people I love and hearing their laughter and seeing looks of pleasure on their face and knowing I put that look there. It's just, oh my God, it fills me with so much joy. So that line echoes in my head all the time. Then I scorn to change my state with kings. I cribbed that idea in one of my poems of when I was homeless and in line at a soup kitchen, or is it not? They don't really call them soup kitchens anymore. I was in line at a community supper at Park Street, and we were all lined up. And I wasn't miserable because I knew in 10 minutes I'd be going in for a really great meal where they're like really nice to people, and I was standing there with some friends of mine. And there was this man in a Mercedes, and he was like going up that really narrow street next to Boston Common. And I looked at him, and he was friggin' miserable. And I remember thinking, would I change places with him? No. he's going home to his microwave meal, and I don't know if he's going home to anyone or not, but he just, like, there was an air of misery about him. I could tell from the way he was leaning on his horn, like he was, and I didn't at the time think of Shakespeare. And I didn't at the time think of Shakespeare when I wrote the poem that that here I am and I've grown, fat and happy. I remember writing the line fat and happy. Didn't really get fat. It wasn't that much of a luxury. But that, but this idea of, me wanting to change places with him, no, it wasn't as simple as that. But I think of it now that, but that I was surrounded by a lot of love. A kind of love that I hadn't found at times in my life when I had more money. That it wasn't as simple as having money. It's also not as simple as the idea of, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness. But then I scorned to change my state with kings. And that beautiful iambic pentameter, the da 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 da, that he uses in a way that never sounds like ba 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 ba. He uses the rhythm in a way that just kind of the rhythm is there and it's a backbone to his writing, but then it just kind of melts away and it's so natural. His language is so beautiful. His word choice is always so beautiful, and yeah. I hope there's a heaven. I know Shakespeare's there, obviously, if there is, and I hope I get to spend some time with him, because I know time is infinite, so, in heaven, so I hope he can pencil me in. Just a little. Just so I can gush. Oh, you're so wonderful. Can I just, grab a celestial pencil and take some notes? Sorry to go on so long with a sonnet that takes 40 seconds to read, but it's wonderful stuff. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, and if I remember properly, it's Sonnet 29. Good day, folks.